Well, now, this episode of the anime has been a wild ride now, hasn't it? Or at least it has for me. Now, I know a couple of days ago, or in fact even yesterday, I did make a post saying my predictions on this battle between Ash and Iris. And I was kinda right, but I was kinda not at the same time. In a turn of events, this battle wasn't a complete ass whooping slash shit show that I thought it was. In fact, there was a lot of moments that I absolutely adored in it. And there was a lot of moments that I absolutely couldn't stand it. Wow, this is literally a bipolar one, isn't it? Now, why am I talking about episode 65 like randomly all of a sudden? Well, yeah, pretty much obsessed with the big yellow goofball back there. So anytime that Dragonite gets mentioned in the anime, I always have to check it out. Actually, we had two Dragonite this time. Ash's Dragonite, which is a sweet, lovable dope, and Iris's, which wants to kill everything it sees. Literally bipolar opposites. I'm sensing a theme with this episode. Now, let's cut to the chase, get down to the nitty gritty as to what I thought of the fight. One thing I have to point out real quick is I absolutely adored the scene that Ash's Dragonite and Iris hugged each other. It was honestly the cutest thing I've ever seen. I That's me fanboying, but I don't care. Especially when his antennas turn into hearts. Oh my god, that was adorable. Which now I think about it is kind of scary because a couple years ago I had someone draw a Dragonite with the same exact heart-shaped antennas. Why do you two keep copying each other? Ugh, weirds me out. I do want to point out, Iris, though, that not every dragon you see is cute. Now, this dragon I can perfectly agree with. But this dragon is a huge abomination that deserves to go back 6 feet under whence it came. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be a little harsh on Dracovish, and I apologize to any Dracovish fans, especially since, yes, I know, in Sword and Shield, Dracovish is a very, very strong Pokemon. However, there are some points with that specific Pokemon that I want to point out. But before I get to that, I will quickly comment on Ash's Dragonite versus Iris's Dragonite. And just as I predicted, it was a fucking disaster. One thing I noticed in the episode preview when I freeze framed it is that when Iris's Dragonite was using Thunder Punch and Ash's was using Dragon Claw, I already could tell how beat up Ash's Dragonite was, and Iris's wasn't even touched. And I had a feeling in my gut that Thunder Punch was going to knock him out. It didn't, but I was almost right on the money with that one. It would that Iris's Dragonite didn't even get a single ounce of damage, which is a shame if you think about it, because no offense, Ash, but seeing how you battled Mega Lucario so well, you going up, and you know what Iris's Dragonite is capable of because your Charizard fought it. I'm very disappointed in you that you did so poorly against it. Maybe Iris's Dragonite got more experience, but even still, not even a single hit. And by the way, did you really think it was a good idea to use Draco Meteor, which takes a little bit to charge, when Iris's Dragonite's already heading towards you with Dragon Rush? I'm sorry. I find that to be extreme bullshit. my prediction was the fact that I thought that Iris's Dragonite was gonna beat the ever loving shit out of Ash's just so Dracovish could steal the show. I'm not entirely wrong, but I'm not entirely right either. Ash's Dragonite didn't faint, thankfully. I would have been, you trust me, I would have been so fucking pissed if he got freaking just got a flawless victory over him. Ugh. You don't even know how much that would have pissed me off. I mean, I don't know, it's a win-lose either way because one Dragonite wins, one Dragonite loses, even though we all know how much I love Ash's. Ash's Dragonite is how I actually see what Dragonite is. Iris's just reminds me of Charizard when he just goes into a rampage, or hell, even Hydreigon, because we've seen how destructive those bastards are. And now, what I believe is the biggest bullshit part of this fight. And I know there's several people that agree with me because I've read the comment section of one of the videos I saw. Now, I'm not necessarily against Dracovish winning, because let's be honest, it's a new Pokemon. It needs to have some spotlight time. I understand that. Everyone else got it at some point. I mean, Sirfetch'd did too. Now, I'm no dummy. I know Dracovish has a really strong jaw. I mean, that mouth, yeah, I get it. But you're telling me that when it grabbed Iris's Dragonite, who I'm pretty sure has been grabbed by other things more powerful than it, by the way. I could be wrong, but I'm just speculating. It couldn't get out of it. Maybe its Pokedex entry says when it grabs onto you, it's impossible to let go. Maybe it does. I'm not a Dracovish fan. I'm sorry. If you want to tell me in the comments, please do, because that would actually make more sense. I don't mind being corrected. But here's something that really pisses me off. I understand. I'm not a dumbass. I know that Dragonite has a double weakness to ice. I know that Dracovish used Ice Fang. But it seriously one-hit KO'd Iris's Dragonite. First of all, I think the thing has multi-scale. It hasn't been hit before. So if that's the case, the fuck. The Iris's Dragonite is a fucking tank. I guess similar to Ash's, but still. Her Dragonite is a tank. The thing can be beaten to hell and back and still be standing. I've seen it before in the black and white anime. In fact, anyone remember when Iris's Dragonite fought Dawn's Mamoswine and got frozen like 3 different times and still beat him? You're telling me that he's able to become completely frozen solid for a solid 30 seconds and come out and still win that fight, even getting frozen multiple times. But Dracovish was able to one-hit KO him. Once again, I know how powerful Dracovish can be. But in terms of, like, who has more battle experience, I'm sorry. Iris's Dragonite should not have went down as fast. If he was previously damaged by Ash's Dragonite, I would understand. But he hasn't been touched yet. No damage at all. Dracovish has how much battling experience? None, right? This is its first battle. Or at least it's the first battle I've seen. Unless I missed an episode one week and I'm just being dumb. But I swear this is like... Either way, only one battle. Still, the thing's a newbie. Actually, some people called it a baby, I think. Because, yeah, remember it was revived recently. So, obviously levels don't exist in the anime. But still, the thing has no battling experience. It's just gonna be revived as his automatic powerhouse? No. Bullshit. There's so many reasons why Iris's Dragonite shouldn't have been 1-hit KO'd by Dracovish. If the thing can survive so many other attacks, especially attacks it's weak to, and still put up a fight, this was just bullshit writing. I'm sorry. I hate going against that sort of thing, but I understand that the writers were looking for a way to keep the fight even and make things more intense, make it going down to 1v1. But this isn't the way to do it. The fact that Iris's Dragonite would beat the ever-loving shit out of Ash's and still had a fight and still should have been able to do something in this fight, but instead just literally just get destroyed for no reason. I think this was just a cop-out just to fill the quota for the 22 minutes, because there's really nothing else I can think of that would make logical sense. They wanted to make it so Iris's Dragonite and her new Haxorus, or newly seen Haxorus, has some time to shine. But that's not the way to do it. Even if it wasn't Dragonite, even if it was like Salamence or something, I would still call bullshit on that. It's not necessarily Dragonite. It's just the fact that this Pokemon that we've seen before has handled double weakness moves before and still stood on its 2 feet. But now all of a sudden it just gets one shot like a pussy, which is a first for it, I will admit. And while we're on the subject of, like, not being able to show your skills, Haxorus, I'm sorry. You didn't get the Gengar treatment, but it was pretty close. You at least were able to attack and did a few things. Well, in fact, the first half of that fight, Ash's Dragonite got the Gengar treatment, but at least it didn't faint. Luckily, Dracovish didn't win the entire thing. Because if it did, this would definitely be a lot more ragey of a video, I will admit that. But still, I mean, positives, we're able to see what Dracovish is capable of. Negatives, it was still bullshit. I don't care what you say. It's a new Pokemon that was just revived. It's going up against a veteran. She's the champion of the region, isn't she? I'm assuming she used her Dragonite to do that. That thing can unleash a can of whoop ass like there's no tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'll drop it. That's the fourth time I mentioned it, but that is how much I can't stand that part. It burns me. It really is. I think my ears are actually burning with rage from that. But oh my god. All right, let's just go to the end of the battle, which I honestly think is really cool. Now, if I remember correctly, Iris has the ability to, like, sense the souls of dragons or the spirits of dragons. I forget exactly what it is. Keep in mind that I was watching a Japanese episode and I don't speak it and there was no subtitles, so just going off of what I'm noticing and what I remember. So if I misremember, please correct me down below. I would appreciate it, actually, because I hate being wrong. So yeah, she's able to sense the spirits and dragons just to see how they are, and she was able to see, like, the kindness and loyalty and the good-heartedness that Ash's Dragonite has. And yes, it's, like, Ash's Dragonite has to probably be one of the purest souls out there. I know, I sound like a complete biased Dragonite-obsessed goofball. Well, I am, but still. But you definitely have to admit that Ash's Dragonite is, well, a little bit more happy-peppy and lovable than, let's say, Lance's or Drake's or Professor Oak's, really. That sure as hell more than Iris's. And I will admit the way that Ash and Dragonite pulled off of that victory in the end was really cool. And it would have been nice if you, like, started off with moves like that, just saying, but Haxorus, you did a decent job. I just kind of wish you did a little more. I mean, you did knock out Dracovish, so you do get a +1 for that, but I honestly wouldn't have minded if Haxorus won, just because it would be really cool to see Axu way back in the black and white anime be like who he was, and then all of a sudden, like, you literally see him growing up, and then he just becomes this amazing battler. And just, so, honestly, I wouldn't be upset if Haxorus won. Because, honestly, I kind of think he deserves it. But, no, that isn't what happened. Just Dragonite managed to pull another win out of his tail, and there we go. A freaking Hurricane Draco Meteor combo, which, yeah, I don't know, that looks sick. And to top it all off, another big hug at the end, which warms my heart every time. God, I love Ash's Dragonite so much. I'm sorry I had to say it. Oh, it's just the fact. I said this once way back a year ago on the Dragonite Island episode, but I'll say it again. It's just so crazy how you picture a Pokemon a specific way, and then it's like so surreal when you see it in the anime for yourself. I never would have guessed in a million years that the anime writers would actually take this side of Dragonite and just build upon it. It's one of the things that it's just, you just imagine it, you write it down as maybe just a OC or something, you know what I mean? That's pretty much what the Team Lantinite mascots are, you know what I mean? Just seeing what you imagine come to life, it's just, I don't know, maybe that's why I have such a soft spot for this Dragonite in particular. I mean, obviously, with Iris's, I was just like, I mean, you're a Dragonite, but I don't really like you that much, because it wasn't how I thought Dragonite should be. But yeah, I thought this was a decent episode overall. Regardless if Dragonite won or lost, didn't really matter. But As long as Dracovish didn't steal the show, that's the only thing I was. That's the only thing I was worried about. Because if you did, my good sir, your derpy ass would have been right on my permanent shit list, along with Hydreigon, Mega Lucario, Rayquaza, and Mega Charizard. Both. Yes, both. I don't like either. But no, I can't do that to you. Because, like I said, you needed a time to shine like all of Ash's other Pokemon. So it's only fair. But one thing that I can say is that this was yet another amazing battle that we won't soon forget.